mute. Please could I ask everybody to mute microphones and only unmute them when you need to speak. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this special awards presentation evening. It's particularly lovely to see so many young people participating this evening. Award winners, parents, friends and teachers, welcome all. I'm Julian Alper, and I have the pleasure of being your chairman for this evening. I also have the honour of being the president of Voices Israel, group of poets in English, the foremost group of English poets in Israel, with members here in Israel and all around the world. Before turning to the main part of the evening, the competition award-winning poets and their poems, I'd like to spend just a few moments telling you about Voices Israel. As I have said, we have members in Israel and all around the world. We have 8 groups who meet once a month on Zoom or in person to peer review each other's poems in a friendly environment with constructive suggestions as to how poems can be improved. We have a monthly newsletter in which we showcase our members' poems and also artwork and essays. We have periodic workshops throughout the year, some in person, some on Zoom, and we produce a rather beautiful annual anthology, including poems of our members and others. And ladies and gentlemen, you're all welcome to submit poems to the next anthology. Please check out our website for further details of how to submit, how to take part in all our competitions, and how to join us. And as well as all that, we run 2 prestigious competitions each year. The Bar Sagi Prize for Young Poets in Israel. This prize commemorates the life of a young Israeli poet, Bar Sagi, who tragically passed away at just 15 years old. During her last years, Bar wrote 25 poems which documented with hope her journey with illness and her remarkable life force. The prize in her memory is sponsored by Bar's family, and her grandfather, Professor Anthony Joseph, will spend 2 or 3 minutes soon telling us a bit more about the competition and about Bar. Our other prize competition, the Reuben Rose Prize, is open to poets all over the world and of any age. This competition honours the memory of our founding president, Reuben Rose, who established Voices Israel well over 50 years ago. The competition administrator, our esteemed friend and member, Mr. Mark Levinson, has been a member of Voices Israel from its very beginning, though he doesn't look old enough to have been involved for so long. Item 1 on tonight's agenda is to honour the prize-winning poets of the Bar Sagi competition. We will hear from the competition administrator, Mrs. Michelle Bustin, who worked ever so hard in arranging the competition. We'll also hear from the competition sponsor, Professor Anthony Joseph, one of the judges, Itamar Bloomfield, and I ought to mention that Itamar recently got married to Ronnie. Itamar, we wish you and Ronnie Mazal Tov, much happiness together, and thank you for being with us this evening. And thank you to the other judges too, Amiel Schotz and Susan Bell. I don't think they're able to be with us this evening. We'll then hear the poets read their poems. Item 2 on tonight's agenda is to honour the prize-winning poets of the Reuben Rose competition. We'll hear from the competition administrator, Mr. Mark Levinson, from 2 of the 3 judges, Judy Robinson and Fran Levin. Thank you both for all your hard work, and thanks also to Baruch November, who was one of the judges, but unfortunately can't be with us tonight. We'll then hear the poets read their poems. And item 3 on the agenda is an open mic poetry reading from our members. All our visitors are welcome to stay to hear the Reuben Rose winning poems and the open mic too. I'm going to ask in a moment Michelle to say a few words about the Bar Sagi Prize, and I would ask, if I may, that all the speakers speak for just a couple of minutes, no more, because we have got a rather full agenda, and the main focus of this evening must be the poets and the poems. So thank you. Michelle, would you like to unmute your microphone and say a few words about this year's competition?
Okay, good evening, everybody. The Bar Sagi Prize is in its 7th year now, and Voice is very proud and excited to host the poetry competition sponsored by Professor Anthony Joseph in fitting memory of his granddaughter, Bar, who was a talented young poet. It's wonderful to see the faces of all those young people whose poems have earned them a prize or an honourable mention. I've been a member of Voices for several years and have been the administrator of the prize for 4 years. When we publicise the details of the prize, we send out information about Bar and her poems, and I'm sure they've been an inspiration for all participants. It's been a joy to receive and read poems from youngsters from different parts of the country, writing in different styles and on different themes. All the poets deserve applause for their creative efforts. Thank you to the teachers and parents who supported them. Thanks are also due to Julian, whose calm manner and practical advice and support were of great assistance to me. Thank you to our judges, Emil Schultz, Susan Bell, and Itamar Bloomfield, for their dedication and cooperation and for meeting deadlines. Finally, a word about publicising the composition. We do this through personal contacts and teacher networks, apart from the Voices site. And this year I contacted every single English inspector in the country too. However, I ask you all to spread the word about next year's competition when the details are published in order to harness all the young talent that's out there. And I would like to say congratulations to all our winners. We're very busy young people. I know that one is finishing a ballet lesson and the other one is in Mada at the moment, but I hope they'll all be here. Our winners, Oshra Abekassis, age 16 from Hadera. Second prize, Layan Abu Salah, aged 14 from Ain El Assad. Third prize, Sapir Golomb, age 15 from Mitzpeh Netufa. The honorable mentions, Itai Shapiro, from age 17 from Or Hakiva. Lian Ganem, age 14 from Sajur. And Shane Angert, age 15 from Jerusalem. So I wish you all congratulations, and that's it.
Thank you, Michelle. Professor Anthony Joseph is the sponsor of the Bar Sagi Prize, Bar's grandfather. Professor Joseph, could I ask you please to unmute your microphone and just say a few words to everybody gathered?
So I just wanted to congratulate the winners, to congratulate the honorable mentions, and also to congratulate everybody who participated. I was very impressed by the high level of the poems. Some of them really struck a chord in my heart, particularly the winner, who was Oshra Abakas, because she had this beautiful line, "But not for them your longing burns. It's for the time that won't return." And that reminds me how I used to go to Oxford every so often. And I always thought of my first girlfriend. And then I began to realize I wasn't really thinking about her, but I was thinking about my youth. The other line that struck me was the one in the second prize, which was Lailan Abu Salah, which said, and somewhere along all the trying to please, I learned to speak softly and to move with a breeze. And I thought, my gosh, she must come from a tough family. And thirdly, in the third prize, I might mention the line, "Beneath the olive tree, years have worn the swing. She sees the ways, her heart still waits beneath the olive tree." And I wondered what was really behind that. It sort of vaguely reminded me of the famous song about the two soldiers, the two Scottish soldiers, one who's killed, and the one who his wife of the one who isn't killed, one who is killed, is still waiting for him, and you see her in her old age. Anyway, once again, congratulations, and I'm very glad that the prize is still going and still going strong. This year was certainly one of the best, and therefore I have to have pity on some of the people who didn't win. The competition was so tough. Thank you very much, and thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Julian. and everybody else who was involved in this process.
Thank you, Professor Joseph. It's really our pleasure to be able to have this competition that you sponsor, and we thank you for your generosity in doing so.
And I'm hoping to send the poems to everybody, the book of poems to the 3 winners and 3 honorable mentions, but don't expect it in the next couple of days. The post takes time. I haven't been to the post office yet, and so it may take a couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Itamar, could I ask you to unmute your microphone and say a few words on behalf of the judges of this wonderful competition? Itamar, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So we've been doing this for a few years now, I think 5 or 6 years, and we've had our ups and downs in terms of quantity of submissions and quality, and I agree that this year was an improvement. Was delighted to read all the poems and to evaluate them, and I hope we continue with it. And good luck to everyone in the future, and thank you for everyone that put the effort and created this art.
Thank you, Itamar. Thank you very much. And thank you for all your efforts for you and the other judges, all the efforts that you made in judging and assessing the poems. We thank you very much. Michelle, could I ask you to introduce the poets? And as each poem is read, I'm hoping that I can share my screen and that you'll be able to read the poems as well as hear them. Just bear with me a minute while I try to share my screen. In fact, Michelle, do you want to introduce the first poet, and then I'll share my screen and the poet.
So Oshra, our first prize goes to Oshra Abekassis, age 16 from Hadera, and her poem was Held by the Past. So Oshra, are you here?
Yeah.
Oshra?
Yes, I'm
Sorry, Michelle.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to share my screen now, and then the poem will be on the screen.
Okay.
Is it there? Are you seeing the poem?
Yes.
Okay, I will scroll through the poem as Oshra reads it.
Would you like to read, Oshra?
Yes. Held by the past. You miss the memories, not the face, not the voice that fill the silent space. It's not their touch that haunts your mind, but moments lost, know how to find. The laughter echoing through the halls, the midnight talks, the whispered calls. The way the world felt soft and new, when days were gold and skies were blue. You chased the shadows of a time, when hearts beat loud and loves could rhyme. But not for them your longing bears, it's for the time that won't return. A ghost remains, but not of flesh, just fragments wrapped in memory's mesh. And though they're gone, you understand, you miss the feeling, not the hand.
Thank you, Oshra. Thank you very much.
Michelle, would you like to introduce the second?
May I just suggest you try to get that set to music? It would be really wonderful.
And it was beautifully read.
Yes, very beautiful. Is Layan here?
Yes.
Yes, good, Layan. So Layan, age 14, from Ain al-Assad, is going to read the poem, The Child They Called Mature. Yes.
The child they called mature. They'd say she's mature with a proud little nod, and I took it as a praise like a blessing from God. But growing up early can feel like a shove. You learn to be steady instead of be loved. And I wore that sweet label as best as I could, not knowing to grow never meant understood. They'd hand me their worries like books to be stored, stacked high on my shoulders I never ignored. I carried their stories the best bitter and sweet, mistaking the weight for a personal feat. I thought being helpful made everything good, not saying how much of myself I withstood. I learned to be careful with every reply, to measure my words so none would sigh. I polished my manners, my timing, my tone, a child with the posture of someone full grown. And every small triumph felt like it should, a quiet reminder to stay what I could. I'd watch other kids being loud, being free, a little bit jealous of who I might be. But I played the role that the elders admired. I followed the script that they thought childhood would, forgetting that joy also needed a foothold. And somewhere along all the trying to please, I learned to speak softly, to move with a breeze, to listen too closely, to bend when they'd lean, to hide all the parts that felt messy or keen. I grew in the spaces they thought that I should, while learning that silence wasn't always good.
Thank you very much, Leanne. Beautifully read.
Thank you.
And Sapir Golom, from age 15, from Mitzpeh Natofa, will read Beneath the Olive Tree. Sapir, you're here?
Yes, I'm here.
Good, nice to see you. So would you
Okay.
like to read? Yes.
Yes. Beneath the olive tree, he built himself a swing. She came along singing a song beneath the olive tree. Beneath the olive tree, he sits still on the swing. She asks him why, he says goodbye beneath the olive tree. Beneath the olive tree, empty is the swing. She sits alone, he longs for home beneath the olive tree. Beneath the olive tree, she waits beside the swing. He comes no more, her hope is torn beneath the olive tree. Beneath the olive tree, there's no one near the swing. She found out why, she cried and cried beneath the olive tree. Beneath the olive tree, he has found his peace. No more lies, nothing to hide beneath the olive tree. Beneath the olive tree, years have worn the swing. She sees the way, her heart still waits beneath the olive tree.
Thank you, Sapir. Thank you very much. I'd like to ask Itai Shapiro, honorable mentions. Itai Shapiro, 17, from Or Akiva. Do other animals?
Michelle, just one moment, please. I'm just looking for the poem
Oh,
here.
sorry. I may be, sorry.
Right, okay.
Okay.
I found it.
Itai, are you here with us?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Do other animals? Do the ants ever small talk about colors, about books? Does the parrot know the boardwalk as its freedom or death's hooks? Do the elephants stand solemnly under the drizzle of the rain? Do they wonder condescendingly about the meaning of all pain? Do the cheetahs feel quite deeply, knowing that they'll never fly? Do they feel sorrow more discreetly, or do they have no voice to cry? Do jellyfish survive on purpose? Is death ever present at mind? How come they float beneath the surface without much depth inside to find? Do the blackbirds breathe with meaning, or do their lungs just do the work? Is that they ever crave for feeling, or is their living just a perk? Do the spiders sleep at night, at ease, content to have 8 eyes? Or do they get dysphoria of sight, and wish the sealess sunset dies? Do all the foxes miss their grandmas, and wish that they could hear her voice? Do all tabby cats regret existence, or is it only the lazy boys? Do all horses wish to be ridden, or are desires beyond their control? Do all animals keep something hidden, or are we the only who have a soul?
Thank you very much, Itai. Food for thought, indeed. And Leanne, is Leanne here?
Yes.
Hi, Leanne. So Leanne from Sajur will read us Where the Quiet Hearts Rise.
Okay, before I read my poem, I would like to say thank you for this honor. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity to be part of this event. And I would also like to thank my English teacher, Fida Ahnoud, for the support and guidance. Okay, Where the Quiet Hearts Rise. In the quiet of the morning, when the sky is still holding its breath, a single ray of trembling light slips softly through the darkness. It touches all the silent things, branches, the broken stones, and then the world remembers how to glow again. We trudge through days that warp us, nights that steal our names, but somewhere in the deepest dark, a spark refused to die. It beats like wings inside us, a tender, fearless flame, whispering that even sorrow is simply a door that is turned to gold. And when the storm has finished, there seems to be, the long and bitter song. We lift our faces to the dawn, and then we discover that we are not the same. For every heart that shudders learns the secret of the light, that beauty is born in breaking, and hope in learning how to rise. So take my hand, wanderer, together we'll cross the shadows, carrying small, hot flames in us towards the waiting day.
Thank you, Leanne. That's beautiful. And is Shana here? Yes? Okay. So Shana from Jerusalem will read the poem, I Hate You. Shani, we can't hear you very clearly. Yeah, yes. Could you begin again?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Read.
I hate you. I hate you for making me laugh every time I hear your voice.
You've disappeared again.
Michelle,
Yeah.
I
Her
don't know whether
connection.
we should move on or whether you want to read the poem or...
Let's try, wait a minute, let's try. Shana, can you hear us? So I'll read at the moment and then we'll see how we go. Okay.
Thank you.
Shana's poem. I hate you for making me laugh every time I hear your voice. I hate you for putting this smile on my face every time you smile. I hate that spark in your eyes every time you talk. I hate you just for making me think, maybe just today. I hate you for making me want to live another day. I hate you for making me fall in love with you.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay. Michelle, that's the all the poems that
Yes.
yes.
They were wonderful, weren't they?
Yes. Absolutely. And thank you to all the poets. Thank you to their teachers. Thank
and
you
the parents.
all the parents, the people friends who've joined in to listen. And thank you to the judges for choosing such a wonderful set of poems. So thank you, everybody. That was really wonderful. And it's our honour to have had you succeed this year with your poems. So
Can I just say one word?
Please
Can
do.
I just say one word? I was very impressed not only by the poetic value of the poems, but the depth of meaning. And I wondered if it wasn't all the troubles that Israel has been going through that's making young people think more deeply.
Thank you, Tony.
Food for thought.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That was the first item on the agenda for this evening. The second item is the awards for the Reuben Rose Prize. And I'd like to ask our competition administrator, Mark Levinson, to unmute your microphone, please, Mark, and to say a few words of introduction.
Okay, thanks, Julian. We had close to 300 poems entered this year. Not a record year, but a return to the kind of numbers we've been pleased to see in the past. We had entries from Israel, the USA, the UK, Canada, Belgium, Italy, and Spain. As usual, the great majority of entries came from Israel and the USA, and this year the quantity from those two sources was just about equal. Now, Reuben Rose, if he could hear us today, might wish we could muster more entries from the UK. He came to Israel from Wales himself, And as compared to recent years, the UK did provide quite a lot of entries comparatively, but quite a lot is four. Reuben would also have particularly valued the entries from the less Anglophone countries because he always saw his poetry project as a channel for promoting international understanding and appreciation. It's amazing how many overseas poets he attracted to the Voices Israel group and the Voices Israel anthology in his day, considering that there was no internet and all he had was a manual typewriter and postage stamps. I should correct Julian. Reuben never called himself the president of the organization. He did function as president and secretary and treasurer, but he modestly called himself the convener. Our judges, I can attest that our judges this year, Baruch November and Judith Robinson and Fran Levin, took the job seriously and they chose a very good set of winners. But I'm sure they'll agree that many other excellent poems could also have been among the winners if we had a longer evening for reading them all. So thanks to the judges, thanks to all the entrants, and good luck to everybody in next year's competition.
Thank you, Mark. Judith Robinson, I think, yes, I see you. Could you unmute your microphone, please? You were one of the judges for this year's competition. And we'd like to hear a few words about your thoughts on the poems and judging them.
Certainly. Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be with you today. I'm so in awe of this organization, the high quality of the poetry. You know, I teach poetry here in Carnegie Mellon University, and I can attest to the fact that these young people, all people, this whole group of entries was just wonderful, just remarkable. There's so much talent. But I want to say a word of thanks to you all in Israel, to tell you how much I love you all, how much you're in my hearts all the time. I think we're in an unprecedented, horrible, horrible time for Jews all over the world, in London, everywhere. I don't know all the causes, but I have to just admire the spirit of you all, the strength of you all, and the brilliant work of you all. So it's a pleasure to be among you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Judy.
Sure.
Fran, I did see you. I can't see you at the moment. I'm sure you're there. Yes, I do see you. Fran, would you like to unmute your mic? You also were one of the judges, and you're an Israeli-based judge. Would you, Israel-based judge, I should say. And Fran, would you like to say a few words, please, as well?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. And there's some background noise from Wendy, if someone could mute that. This was the first time I ever judged a poetry competition, and it was a huge honor for me. And I want to thank Mark for his guidance and Julian for his guidance and the other judges who, although I never actually met them, were there. I felt like I was taken on a magical mystery tour. It wasn't just this, there was such a wide range of subjects, whether it was people, places, events in the past, Jewish events, international events, episodes, anecdotes, interactions, memories, seasons, pastoral scenes, so much. And also I felt that I really got another course in poetry. Just there was such a wide range of styles. Just to name a few: slant rhyme, formal rhyme, concrete poems, use of white space, voice, metaphor, images, tanka, haiku. There was so much, and it was like being in this amazing sweet shop where you can only choose a certain amount. You've got to make your mind up. So that was very difficult, but I really, really so enjoyed the process. And thank you to everyone who sent their poems in and made me part of this wonderful experience. And congratulations to the winners and the honorable mentions.
Well, thank you, Fran, and thank you, Judy, and thank you in his absence to Baruch November, who between the three of them were the judges for this competition. So now I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to call upon each of the poets to say a few, to read their poems. Just bear with me one moment, please. I'm hoping you can see my screen now. Can you?
Yes.
Our winning poet of this year's prize, Mark Elber. I know he's there. I saw him. I saw his picture on the screen. Mark, could you unmute your microphone? Perhaps you just tell us whereabouts you are in less than half a minute and who you are in just half a moment, and then read your poem.
Okay, well, I live here in Fall River, Massachusetts, on the east coast of the United States. Not much else to say. I've been writing poetry since I was a teenager, like other teenagers here, and thank you very much for this honor. And actually, one more thing, back in 1982, one of the earliest poems that I had published was published in Voices Israel. So I have two small references here that I'm afraid, because a lot of people are from Israel, they may not know, but the Iron Range in the second line is the area in Minnesota where Bob Dylan was born, and Folk City was the first place that he played in Greenwich Village. A young man's art for Bob Dylan, a strum belly deep, a voice rising from the Iron Range, boots broken in on indifferent streets, homeschooled with a radio and 45s, harmonica licks, following the Mississippi through this split nation, its twisted history, inventing a past out of circus sideshows, a corduroy hat, a river raft swapped for a four-door, always one more corner to turn for a troubadour with fingers crowned in calluses, who crashes on couches walking distance to Folk City, its cramped tables, black plastic ashtrays, 2-drink minimum, the stage, a spotlit confession, an accusation in F major, a distillation of late night conversations preserved in alcohol, then amplified. And the word was a match to a wick, a flare for the phrase that flays, a handout of runaway verse hanging in the air like the last tonic chord.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
You can now see why Mark won the first prize in this year's competition. Our second prize winning poet is Anne Miles. Anne, are you able to unmute your microphone?
Yes,
spend
I
half
just
a
did.
moment telling us who you are and where you are before you read your poem.
Hi, I have lived for about 5 years in Greensboro, North Carolina. Before that, I lived in Iowa, where I was an English professor at the University of Northern Iowa. I'm originally from New York, as everyone hears in my voice. So my poem is Pomegranate. Decide on a whim to buy one, this rosy hand grenade, this smooth sealed in upon itself. Score it carefully and pull it apart the way a video instructs you. So many arrows, so closely packed, it's almost terrible to look at, though how neatly fitted, how fragile yet intact, how brilliant as rubies. Curl back the pithy inner skin, strip it away, let it rise and float. Scoop jewels from the water, heap them in a bowl. Taste the sweet, the sour, the small explosions, the crunch of bitter seeds you swallow. Trace the stain on your white blouse. You have heard eating this is good for you. As you eat, think of 613 mitzvot just as faceted and interlocking, most of which you'll never fulfill. Think too about fertility and love, about every possibility you fear must have withered long ago. Consider rituals you haven't cared for and the holiday you're observing, a country you've never been to, you're
Professor,
determined
lees
must
nog
survive.
feestlang.
So many metaphors, choose one. Next year, perhaps another. Meanwhile, recall this fruit, how perfectly it filled your palm. Remember the knife, the breaking open.
Thank you, Anne. I'm sorry it was interrupted, but thank you. That was really lovely. Thank you. And our third prize winner is Wendy. Wendy Blumfield, formerly a president of Voices Israel. Wendy, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Great. Wendy, would you tell everybody just a few words about yourself, where you are, and a few words, and then please read your poem.
Okay. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Good. I'm sitting in Haifa, and Haifa is my local Voices group. I've been in Voices for many years. I knew Reuben Rose and was very inspired by him. I was very honored to receive this third prize because I don't usually structure my poems. Everybody who knows me knows I write free verse without rhyme, without meter. It just comes from the soul. But I was inspired by Emil Schotz from our Beersheba group, who wrote a beautiful Terzanel about his late wife. And with his advice, I wrote this. And this is a true story because while the war was on, I had to go down 58 steps to my shelter. Okay. 58 steps, a Terzanel. Sirens howling before the dawn, 58 steps to the shelter below, emerging again to the light of morn. Missiles rain down from a distant foe. Boom, 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 as they land so near. 58 steps to the shelter below. If I leave the house, I am filled with fear, for where to shelter if the sirens sound? Boom, 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 as they land so near. I tremble as missiles roar to the ground. Iron Dome shrapnel falls from the sky. For where to shelter if the sirens sound? The elderly stumble, the children cry, searching for shelter in the open street. Iron Dome shrapnel falls from the sky. The elderly stumble, the children cry, sirens howling before the dawn, searching for shelter in the open street, emerging again to the light of morn.
Well, thank you, Wendy. And I hope that you won't have to be going down 58 steps to the sound of sirens ever again.
It was all right going down, it was coming up again.
Okay. Thank you for reading it so beautifully as well, Wendy. Thank you. As Mark said, we could only have 3 prize winners and we could only have 10 honourable mentions. It's now my pleasure to call upon those poets who were awarded honourable mentions. Laurel, I did see you before. I hope you're still here.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. Would you tell us just a little bit about yourself in half a moment and then read your poem?
Thanks, Julian. It's an honor to be here amongst everyone, and thank you to the judges. So I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, lived here my whole life. I'm still here, and this is a very different poem because it's speaking from the point of view of an incantation bowl. And the bowl is talking to us. And these bowls are from the 6th to 8th centuries, and they were viewed as a form of protective magic. So I'll just leave you with that. But also they were used by ordinary people, not anyone in specific. And that really warmed my heart. And this poem is in my book that just came out, written from the Into the Curve of the Sea's Open Throat. Woman as an Aramaic incantation bowl. Curses of demons, curses of humans, swallows of the wounded. I'm cursive scripted, smooth, roughed, coiled. Find me hidden in a dusty corner, a threshold, a hillside, courtyard of the recently deceased. I'm dirt swallowed, beet colored, beaten, lips on fire, throat preserved these centuries. My clay absorbed grief. I hold a serpent eating its tail. Call him ordinary. Hidden in my bowels. But I'm rambling. I can do the job. Terracotta, with or without eggshells encrusted. I'm like an amulet, calm on my knees. I bend over, stain the ground, chanting until they bury me face down and the serpent within escapes. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you, Laurel. That was lovely. Thank you. Very interesting. Lisa. Are you there, Lisa?
I am indeed.
Lisa, can we just all wish you Mazal Tov? We know you had a new granddaughter, I think.
Yes, yes. And 5 minutes before I got on, my son came over to bring her so I could give her a hug.
So Lisa, please, would you tell everybody just in half a moment about yourself and then share with us your poem?
I'm originally from New York, lived on an Indian reservation in Paris, and I've been in Israel for about 45 years now. But the poem that I wrote is to honor the fact that my brother lives in New Orleans, and I've been privileged to visit it and to take the offered bicycle. And here's my poem. Cycling through New Orleans. I ride on silver spokes down streets with French names to Jackson Square, the scent of chicory and fresh beignet from the cafe. It is early, so I have the levee and a mauve Mississippi all to myself, her banks smudged salt in the primeval fog. I wave to the artist I met yesterday as he opens his shop. Stop to listen to an old man caressing his violin on a park bench, his magic hands the color of the burnished wood. He plays me good morning before I ride on. I pass tiny houses painted from a mad palette of turquoise, magenta, mustard, all carpeted in deep purple shadows. Porch swings creak like crickets. Fleur-de-lis on everything, even the garbage cans. Live oak bent in arthritic poses, their Spanish moss beards grown back since Katrina's unkind trim. Geranium and wandering Jew knit into lacy balconies. A man gathers empty beer bottles in a flour sack. Last night's bourbon on his breath. I pass a gingerbread mansion whose bricks have seen more than 100 summers. The garden is lovely with lilac. The porch long and deep, but I see way in the back the old slave quarters.
Thank you, Lisa. Brenda, would you unmute your microphone, please, Brenda? Is Brenda still here? Okay, we will move on. And if Brenda rejoins the meeting, I'm assuming...
Julian?
Oh, yeah.
Julian, I'm here.
I'm
great.
sorry. I'm
That's
so
okay.
sorry.
That's okay,
I'm a
Brenda.
Luddite when it comes to machines.
Okay. Brenda, would you tell us a little bit more about yourself other than being a Luddite?
Apart from being a Luddite, I'm a member of the Netanya group of voices, which is run by lovely Susan Oldsborough. And just to say what a lovely, pleasant evening it always is to get together and to share this creativity. We all look forward to the monthly visits. So I'm from Netanya.
Brenda, would you like to read your poem?
Yes, Blue. There were times when her head needed a soft landing, a gentle glide to a silent space, away from the ordinary everyday of clutter and noise and dishes and kids and jarring school runs. Sitting alone amongst puzzle pieces and discarded Lego, the fog of motherhood would overwhelm her. But in a synapse snap, she could transport herself to a special place, a piece of perfect paradise. Just by closing her eyes, she was producer, director, and star of her own film, unwinding in vibrant color inside her head. She skipped lightly down a cobbled pathway that curled through vineyards down to the sea, a sheet of shimmering blue that twinkled seductively. She was hot and young and carefree again as she settled under a cypress pine, its fallen needles infused with lemon, mint, and sage, and watched the interplay of sun and sea. A blending of turquoise, aquamarine, and cobalt, she dove in with delight and let the cooling waves cradle her. Some foreign sound jarred her reverie. Mom, I'm hungry. What's for lunch? The film faltered and flickered, and the end appeared in script inside her head. With a sigh, she raised herself and searched for frozen chips, while a wistful smile lingered gently on her lips.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
Oh, Esther from London. Esther, are you there?
I am indeed. Yes, I am here.
You're in
Yes.
Golders Green, but you're not far away from Golders Green,
No,
are you?
only about 6 miles away. So yes,
Right.
we're
Well,
very much.
you look after yourself, Esther, and look after
Thank
everyone
you.
else in London. Esther, just tell us in a moment or two what a little bit about yourself, and then share your poem, please.
Yes, I'm originally from the northeast of England, and I know you've got some ex-Sunderland members, and I'm also ex-Sunderland. I've been a member of Voices for about 10 years and was introduced to Voices via Wendy. So that was a lovely way of being introduced. And the poem is, in fact, it's in memory, but it's in memory of a fellow poet, which I think you've written about at the bottom, with Judith Weinstein Haggai, who lost their lives in October 23. And I have used some of her words because I thought they were so beautiful. So this is in memory. Thank you. We never met, nor shall we ever meet, but I know you through your poems that stand up and breathe. They talk to me and reveal your love for Israel, its history and people. You received joy from nature's gifts, and now through you I hear figs falling. I see ripe olives being picked from ancient trees. I feel the hot, soft sand as you walk by the sea. We shall fly through windswept branches and together compose poetry.
Oh, thank you, Esther. I'll just say once again, Esther, do look after yourself.
Yes, Yes, thank you.
Esther was born in the north of England. Judy, I think you were born at the opposite end of the country. Is that right? Judy, are you there?
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Judy, south of the country?
I grew up in Bournemouth, which is about as far south as you can get in England, unless you hop across the water to the Isle of Wight. I've been in Israel since 1970. I've been in Voices in the Haifa group for about 8 or 9 years. I was introduced by Wendy, who I understand has introduced quite a few people to our wonderful organization. Okay, so could you scroll it up a little bit more, please? Thank you. Ancient ceremony. At my grandson's brit, the adult males, uncles, grandfathers, father, gathered around his cherub face, his tiny arms and legs still red, and of course the other limb that was the focus of their attention, intent on welcoming the next generation into the family, the clan, the tribe. A brit is such a masculine celebration. Who spared a thought for the distraught mother, a quivering mass of nerves and hormones, huddled alone in another room and racked by shudders as one faint wail was followed by another? He cried less than his brother 3 years ago, said the proud father, struggling to console her. But she only relaxed when, in her arms cuddled and full of milk, he fell asleep on her shoulder. This ritual is so ancient, no one knows quite how we acquired it. Was it God's command? Did we get it from the Egyptian, from the Hittite? Or perhaps, for reasons we don't understand, it was Neanderthals who first decided to do this to their sons. One thing we know, it must have been a patriarchal society. Mothers, had they been asked, would have said no. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Suzanne. Is Suzanne with us this evening? I'm assuming not, but if Suzanne is there, we'll come back to her. So the next poem is Ophira, and I'm sure Ophira is here, and I think Ophira, quite a number of our friends registered too, so we welcome you all. Ophira, will you tell us just a little bit about yourself, where you are and who you are?
So I'm Ophira, and I'm originally from the Netherlands. I was born and raised in the Netherlands, and I just completed a master's in at Bar Ilan, nonfiction writing. And I've also written some poems, and this is one of them. It's about an MRI that was particularly scary, and it's based on the thoughts I had while I was inside the machine. Resonance. Shall I pray? I ask in my head, as a magnet 100,000 times more powerful than Earth's magnetic field scans its content, focusing on a hole long left in my left lobe by a skilled woman who handled a scalpel to cut out a tumor when my now 8-year-old dozed in utero. A blue blanket over my limbs and torso I lie, eyes shut, arms by my side, in a confined space ship sterile tube, the resonance machines cadenced, hammering and beeping, louder than a man's voice through headphones, singing, "Tell me that you love me." I doubt there is anything out there. Mom, I don't think of you enough, do I? At least I write poems of you. Want me to write some more? And amid the cadence, I don't even believe in talking to you. You're nothing now. Still, I emerge from the icy white cylinder with a smile. The technician is so nice, calls me Mummy. Hebrew not for an embalmed cadaver, but for darling. And a friend says, positive thoughts are a form of prayer.
Well, thank you, Ophira. Wendy Dickstein, are you able to unmute your microphone?
Yes.
Thank you, Wendy. Could you just tell everybody where you're from and in half a moment, just tell us about yourself?
Okay. I live in Jerusalem. I made Aliyah about 35 years ago from Los Angeles. I also grew up in Australia. I was born in America, grew up in Australia, lived in India and England. And here I am in the best place to be for me and all of us in Jerusalem. And I'm honored that I, along with Mark Levinson, we're just finishing up the editing of the next ARC journal of poetry and prose, and we look forward to presenting it to you all soon.
Thank you, Wendy. Would you like to share your poem with us then?
Sure. It's called Run and Return. How I love those Jews who tossed off religion, tumbled head over heels to taste the secular, like the wicked son at the Passover Seder, who at least shows up. And when the blind grandfather stumbles over the words, he gently leads him back. Vehi she'amda, this is what has stood by our fathers and us. And when the young man with the black hat holds out phylacteries with tangled straps, entreats the bareheaded boy in the marketplace, he shrugs and obliges, though he no longer believes, since a Jew must lay tefillin. And when Yesela, the glittery drag queen, who used to be a yeshiva boy, opens her act, she grabs an energy drink mixed with vodka, raises it to her red, red lips, and without even thinking, chants, "Blessed are you, Lord, King of the universe, by whose word all things came to be."
You, Wendy. Michal. I'm not sure if Michal is here. Michal, are you here? We'll assume not, but Michal, if you are here, then unmute your microphone and we'll come back to you afterwards. Alan? I'm not sure that Alan is here either. So again, if you are here, well, we can't come back to you afterwards because we've reached the end. Did I miss anybody out who is here? And we skipped over because you didn't unmute microphones. Is there anybody still to read? No. Okay, well, thank you to all you wonderful poets who were awarded prizes. And thank you to everybody else who submitted poems and unfortunately weren't awarded prizes on this occasion. But as Mark said, keep trying. Next year is another year and who knows. So thank you, everybody. That brings to an end item 2 on our agenda. And next, we have item 3, the open mic section. Quite a few people have registered. I'm going to call upon you in a moment to share with us a poem. I won't be sharing it on screen. If I end up missing out anybody who did register, please let me know. Just bear with me 1 minute while I find my list. The sequence we're going to follow is the sequence that people actually registered in. Wendy, that was the poem Wendy read. Right. Pessy, are you there? I think Pessy is there.
Yes, I am here.
Pessy, would you like to share a poem with us this evening?
Yes, please. And I'd like to say it's been absolutely inspiring from the youngest to the not so young. And I believe I also met Wendy some time ago and was encouraged to join Voices, and it's just wonderful. So with that, I'll read my poem. It's called Meanings of Silver. Long ago and far away, a century almost ago, Aaron Eliyahu HaKohen, my father, was born in a Polish village, Jacqueline it was called, but moved to Loivich, parents, siblings and all. Its central square housed the marketplace, shops alongside, where silver-tongued staff served chatting folks, exchanging woes, hoping for bargains, searching for wares. Tim Gidal photographed this scene of bescarved women, basket on arm, children, chicks, men in padded coats against fearful elements threatening skies. Tim forced to flee, with camera slung, he braved Nazis' onslaught, arrived in Israel. Generous gesture, that picture he shared with me and my father, by then wheelchair bound. With lightning recall, Dad was lured back years. Moischele's wadding stores here, and see, Schmiel's shoe shop and Yankeler's bakery. Dad escaped Nazis with mother and me, board a boat to England's shore in 1940, found a village attic room, went working in London. Here are my first earnings, he said to my mother. Go buy a goblet for wine, a real becher, made of pure silver, no less and no more. It graced our Sabbath table, atop its white cloth. Although barely 3, its blessing I recall. Yiddish with that becher was magical. Perhaps that accounts, some 80 years later, for its survival on my Jerusalem table. Silence may be golden, but speech is silver. Generations count values, their genuine currency.
Thank you, Pessy.
Thank you.
David Silverman. I think you're...
Thank you.
Yeah. David, are you there still? I'm sure you
I
are.
am. I just getting my poem up. 1 second. Okay. Thank you.
David, can you just tell us where you are?
Yeah. So I live in a town called Skokie, Illinois. It's a northern suburb of Chicago. I spend about 12 weeks a year in Israel. My wife and I come every 3 months or so for 2 to 3 weeks. And we have a son and daughter-in-law and 3 little girls, or 3 little granddaughters, living in Maskeret Batya, which is actually not far from where Michelle lives in Gedera, and about 20 minutes east if you get all the green lights from Rehovot.
Thank you, David. I hope you're going to be here for the whole year before too long.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Actually, I have I'm part of a fund in Israel, a venture capital fund. That's what I do for a living. But I actually have my importance to the fund is the fact that I'm here, actually, not there. So I once said to one of the partners that, I'm going to make Aliyah sometime soon. He said, "That's great, but then you're out of the fund." So in any event, I'm not so sure how quickly that's going to happen. But I wrote a poem that's called "The Efficacy of Poetry." It's part of an October 7th trilogy of poems that I wrote, post-October 7th trilogy. Like a lot of you, we've discussed this in some venues, some Voices venues. It was very hard for me to write after October 7th. I kind of didn't see the point. And I don't know, kind of came back to it through dreams. So anyways, this is called The Efficacy of Poetry. It begins with the following quote from Seamus Heaney: "The efficacy of poetry is nil. No lyric ever stopped a tank." After October 7th, disillusioned that words matter, I cannot bring myself to write except in restless dreams, constructing lines, forming stanzas, not on my laptop, but by carving words into stone tablets with the tip of my fiery finger. And the words I write are like none ever written. They are in every language, every dialect. Every person who reads them is moved. Every person who reads them is changed. And when I'm done, I raise the tablets, and the dead are resurrected as in the ancient prophecy. Let those who dwell in the dust wake up and shout for joy. And for one magnificent moment, there is peace. But Lord knows I'm no resurrector, and the tablets are too heavy for a mere poet to hold aloft for very long. Afraid of the damage certain to ensue if I drop the celestial stones, I wake to find the fantasy shattered, the fiery words extinguished, all that was lost, still lost, my finger just a finger, the nail bitten to the nub.
Thank you, David. That was lovely. Next on the list to read is Ariel Watson. Although I'm not sure I see him here at the moment. Ariel, are you there? No. Marlene, are you there? Marlene?
Oh,
Marlene, are you there? No. Helen? No. Miriam Webber, I think you are here. Miriam, are you here, Miriam?
I am here.
Great. Would you share with us your poem? Perhaps you just tell everybody who you are as well.
It's a long story. It's difficult to make just a little of it, but I joined Voices in about 2016 because I saw a little advert in the Jerusalem Post supplement, and it was Susan Rosenberg who drew me in, and since then life has been lovely. I decided to choose something light for this meeting, although it was written 2 weeks after the recent fight started. So there is a reference to the war, but it's a light thing. It's called The Moment Between. This time I'm going to catch it. The moment between being awake and being asleep, when dreams begin to take shape, twisting reality, warping memory. I switch off the light, snuggle down into the quilt, tuck myself in, curl up like an embryo, close my eyes, my body limp, relaxed. Try to stop thinking, empty my mind. I am floating, knowing that I am near that elusive moment between. The siren jars, snapping me awake. Missed it again.
Susan, are you there, Susan? Yes. Susan, can you unmute your microphone? I think you wanted to share a poem this evening.
Am I the Susan you mean, Julian? Is there another?
Yes, I'm sorry. There are two Susans. It was you I meant, Susan. I don't know
Okay,
if it's
thank
Susan
you.
at the moment.
Thank you so much. My poem that I'm going to read is called Pondering About Anonymity. And on an occasion like this, when we've met so many young poets and more mature poets and hear their names, it seems so important to know who has written the poems. But it wasn't always so. So this is Pondering About Anonymity. How strange it would be if at our monthly meeting we all placed in a box our poems unnamed. We would no longer be framed by what we know of each other, what our differing styles are, what our predilections. Would we recognise the hallmarks of one another's writing? We would be like the judges to whom we submit our poems as instructed anonymously, assessing if they fit the competition criteria. Some will rise effortlessly to be selected, some may sadly be ignored, neglected. A few of us still have our school anthologies, backed in regulation brown paper. We see those poems marked anonymous. Do they cry out for identity to be revealed, recognition granted at last, and cruel anonymity wiped away from the tunnels of time? I've never considered this before, the sadness of the unknown file, the ballads so famous but anonymous, Sir Patrick Spens, Do You Ken John Peel, The Big Rock Candy Mountain. What happened to the writer's name? Who was the printer? Why no fame? Had I been one of those fine poets, I would have wanted the world to know my name printed beneath identity to show, and not just omitted, forgotten, even censored in the fog of creative endeavour. I wonder whether modern literati researchers, like fossil paleontologists, could find the details and reclaim those bygone names deserving poetic fame.
Very good.
Thank you, Susan. Susan was the last name I had on my list, but I have half a feeling that there may have been one or two people who registered to read a poem tonight that haven't yet done so. Is there anybody?
Yes, I registered actually, Julian.
Oh, Judy, please then go ahead.
Okay. Hold on, I want to see if I can bring it up on my screen. Yes. This is a little sonnet that I wrote in response to a prompt. I decided, like Merriam-Webber, that now is not the time for being too solemn. We've had plenty of that, so I always try and choose a light poem for the open mics. And the prompt in this case was foreplay in any sense except the usual. And being an active member of the Haifa English Theatre, I immediately separated the word into two, foreplay, and this is the result. Foreplay. Sometimes it's really no fun being props manager. Where is the list the production manager should give me? One of these days I'll work up the courage to challenge her. Well, what's this last-minute stuff? Why does she always leave me to figure out for myself if the heroine's hat should be flowered, a boater, or just a simple beret? Or if from the 30s? Where does she think I'll get that? On our budget, antique fashions don't come our way. Perhaps I should spill out my woes to the director, with support from Fran, the stage manager. She's my friend. Trouble is, I'm low on the hierarchy. I can't hector the high-ups. Got to be sly to achieve my ends. How I hate the politics rampant behind the scenes. Why do politics always creep in with human beings? Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
I should note that there isn't so much politics in the Haifa English Theatre. We are all friends and we get on very well, but...
just like in Voices, we have no politics here either. I think there may be somebody else that I missed out, so please do tell me. No? Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a lovely evening. It was particularly lovely to see the young poets and the old poets, but they hopefully will be our future, the young people. And could I say to everybody here, it's been a pleasure seeing you this evening. I hope you've enjoyed the evening. And if you're not already a member of Voices, do get in touch. we'd love to welcome you to join us. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Julian.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Thank you, Julian. You organised this beautifully as usual.
Thank you.
Here, here, definitely.
Well done.
And it's been lovely to see all the people that I don't usually get to see and I rather miss.
Thank you and good night.
Read the
Hi,
chat
Wendy.
messages.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Wendy.
Thanks to everyone.
everybody. Good night, everybody.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Can you stop the recording now?
Okay.
Thank you.
Leave.
Excuse me, can we get the meeting record? Can you send us to our mails?
We will try to send a link to everybody, yes.
Could I just put in a point here about the recording? Zoom recordings usually work out at about 2 giga, so I doubt very much that they could be sent by email.
Send a link.
Yeah. What we usually do is put them on our YouTube channel, which I know because I'm the person who gets to do it. So if the link comes to me, I'll put it on the YouTube channel, and then everybody will get to see it on YouTube.
So what's the name of the channel?
Voices Israel.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right.
Can I just ask? Can I ask a question?
Please do.
Yes. The poems that were read afterwards, like